Okay, welcome to Försnack med JAEGARN. This will be an English interview for the first time, actually, the second season in the Elitserien. I'm here with Rytter from Series Prospects. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, fine.
Yeah, so you're not only a foreigner for us, but you're also from Denmark. Some would say that would be our competition when it comes to CS or CS:GO. Um, how has it become that you're now coaching a Swedish team?
Yeah, well, I started out with a Norwegian lineup 1.5 years ago, I think it was, and because Serious Nation was spawned or respawned, call it however we want, in Norway from the previous Northern lineup organization, and yeah, we kept it Norwegian so we could play Elitserien. And after one season, we came to the conclusion that we needed some better talent. So we took in Spook at that point and Spuffy, but kept 3 Norwegians, so we would still be playing with the Norwegian core and being in the Elitserien still. And after that, we went international with a Romanian guy, Adex, and still Spook, Lex, Jimbo, and VSW, which were Norwegian as well, but we swapped him out with another Romanian Ersin, so we could play WePlay League because of age. And after that season was done in WePlay, we got the opportunity to sign the previously Oracle with Franson, Hype, and Bob, and we still had Spook within the lineup. So we were thinking we would go full Swedish and find the last one, which ended up being Alex. So yeah, we totally switched it out from Norwegian to international and now Swedish. And I think the reason for it to be Swedish was that I think that the Swedish scene at the moment is super strong talent-wise. So it is an academy team, and having so much talent from Sweden is just a gift, I would say. So that was why we went Swedish.
I'm glad to hear that they believe like a lot in the Swedish scene, even compared to Denmark, that have always had, like during the CS:GO era, from the first TSM Dignitas team to Astralis and Heroic and all those teams that has been like beating us for a couple of years now with like several teams top 30 in the world. Why are you seeing such a difference, and why is it so much fun working with Swedish players for a Dane?
Can you get the last question again? You talked a bit on my sound.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking the question again. Why is it so much fun to work with like Swedish players and no, let's see, lagging a bit. Verkar vara lite nätverksproblem här hos Rytter, så vi får se om vi får tillbaka honom. Han hade inte möjlighet att köra via datorn, så det fick bli via mobilen, så vi får se om vi får in honom här igen snart. Förhoppningsvis. Men han pratar mycket om att den svenska scenen är väldigt stark på uppgång, och det är någonting som är väldigt kul att höra. Såklart, det är väl viktigt att svensk e-sport går framåt och blommar, och det är väl någonting som alla hoppas på i Sverige, att det är på gång att bli så. Då känns det som ett kvitto lite, som Rytter säger detta, men svensk e-sport är stark. Och det är väldigt kul. Nu är vi tillbaka till de här igen, se om det funkar bättre.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. You blocked fully my sound.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just taking the question again here. Like looking at the Swedish scene, like you're seeing that it has a lot of potential. Why do you think it has a lot of potential? Is it something that has happened during the last few years, or have you always like seen the Swedish CS as a different style?
I would say the last couple of years that the Swedish scene has been, I would say, going down a bit, and I think Fnatic is a good example of that. Them going international with it was just lack of talent, I would say, from when it seemed like it was only Bolan and Plopsky who came through the talent phase, or whatever you'd like to say it. But right now, I see a lot of talent in Sweden, especially with the 5 guys I have right now, which is average 20 years old. And we also have Shine in Eyeballers. I'm not super familiar still with the Swedish scene, but I see it going forward at least, and it's way better than the Norwegian scene. Sorry, Norway, but
let's hope so.
But that's the cold hard truth, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. Let's hope the Norwegians aren't listening to this, but it feels good to hear, David. Like that's what we all want to develop, like the new future stars, of course, coming from Sweden and making it to the international scene. What do you see as the key of making a difference, like coming from let's say the Swedish Elitserien and actually taking the step to teams like Fnatic, Ninjas in Pyjamas, or even for your team, like breaking through and making it a top 20 like solid team?
I think this thing with having WePlay, first of all, that the talent league is a good step in the right direction. We saw where Monesi came. We saw basically the whole mouse lineup now almost. I think that's a good step to take, first of all, and I think we are doing it the somewhat right way to take these small steps towards playing HLTV games. Just pretty much grinding it all the way up and show yourself on the HLTV TV games first of all. So just keep your nose in the track, and it will happen eventually if you keep doing what you're best at.
Yeah, like seeing your team, for example, is you play a lot, and that's what you basically need to do if you want to take the next step. Like I always take Big for an example. Like Big was pretty good in the early like era of CS:GO, and then they had a dip, but when they came back strong, you know, with Searson and that lineup, they grinded like every tier 2 tournament out there, and then after a while they were pretty much for a couple of weeks or months or so like the best team in the world to beat. Are you following that type of example? Are you just grinding CS and like taking every competition that you can, or are you like specifically targeting a number of competitions that you really want to like make progress through?
We can take the Big example, but I can also take the tricked example with the lineup of Hunden and Eiko and I think Boop and Bubski were also playing there, and they ended up in Mad Lions, which was and is a Tier 1 organization. They also played a shit ton of HLTV games. I think they were top 3 on HLTV in terms of playing games. So I definitely think playing a lot of HLTV games so you can play the different styles of CS, because there is different styles of CS. There is I would say the Southern Europe style with aim, no brain, call it whatever you want. And then there's the Russian style that has become very, very structured, I would say. And the European style, or the rest, which is us, that has all styles basically, but you need to be comfortable playing against all styles so you can actually set yourself up to beat every style and climb the rankings basically. So yes, I definitely think that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Like you had a really good start in like both Elitserien, but it's some tournaments, for example, in the Blast qualifier in Stockholm, you didn't win. Like we were probably together with Little Mix the favorites in forehand. But why is it that you're like having some really good successes here in the early stage, but some, what do we say, losses? Like also, is that just something that you need to learn, or do you feel do you feel as a coach that it's good to lose some tournaments early on to really develop? Okay, now we lost him again. Ja, det blir lite annorlunda. Man får leva med läget liksom. Får skämta lite med Rytter om att svensk internet det är riktigt bra. Men vi ska nog få in honom här snart igen. Det kan bli så ibland.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my phone is dying.
So, okay.
So if we can take it without the cam, I think it's the way better because it's basically dying.
Yeah, okay, it's okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Back to my question. Like you have had some ups and downs at the early stage. Like you haven't really won everything, but for example in the Elitserien you're going. I think you haven't lost a game yet. Is that correct?
We lost to Eyeballers.
Yeah, you lost to Eyeballers. Yeah. But why do you think as a coach it might be like important also to lose some games?
First of all, it's a cliche answer, but that's where you learn the most. First of all, the games you lose, because there you see all the mistakes that's being done while you're losing the rounds. And if we take the Eyeballers game for an example, I'm not taking it as the reason why, but Alex was on vacation for a week, and we kind of lost our momentum, and I wouldn't say maybe we lost our identity, our flow, or whatever. But that was definitely one of the reasons. But we also knew that we were the underdogs, and we played a little bit scared. And as I told them that this game looked, it was so far from what we used to. I think we got into so many situations that we haven't been into in practice games. So I wouldn't say that if we meet them again, I will say that if we meet them again, it will definitely not be the same outcome result-wise. I'm not saying we're gonna win, because they're also playing to win, obviously. So that's definitely a reason. And to sum it up, you will learn the most by losing games, because you see all the mistakes that's happening.
Yeah, and how does the feedback process? How's the feedback process after a game like that? What do you typically do?
What we did in this specific case, the following day we went into downloading the demo. I think we already watched it 2 or 3 times, every one of us, and came to the conclusion that we won a lot of rounds going B. It might sound easy to just say that, but for whatever reason we stopped doing it. And Fuzi was just having the time of his life on A, and that's our biggest problem, is that we get tunnel vision on things. So just because we're losing towards A a lot, we still went on A, because we believe that going towards A, we need to succeed to play with them, to play with winning a round on A as well. So that's also one of those philosophies we have. We need, so that's one reason. But going through the demo and just have an open talk about it. That's basically what we do.
Yeah, you work with Sippe as well. Like, I don't know who's like mostly involved in scouting players. Is it both of you, or?
Yeah, it's both of us. We have a pretty close relationship or working relationship, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's both of us. We're pretty equal there.
Yeah, because it's really like it's always fun to look at like how does a coach like scout players and how do you value different type of players. Like for example, if you would set up a team from scratch, like you could pick like any type of players at first. Who would you see as your first player, as a like looking at specific role types?
It's easy to say the in-game leader, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna point out their anchor players. On our team, I know Bob XD is having I think he has the worst stats number-wise, but he's the one I appreciate the most because he's playing so hard roles. They're boring, first of all. Take Mirage B as an example, just jumping in a car for 1 minute straight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he needs to buy time. He needs to position himself correctly. He needs to communicate. He needs to. Yeah, I really appreciate those type of guys on a team, the anchor players, and then after that, you can look into the in-game leaders, and the easy part is to find the somewhat star players, the AVP, and in our case, Spook, who has the most action-packed positions.
Yeah, because this is really fun to talk about, since like most of the players on the scene, they were probably like, oh, we want to have like hard-hitting players. Like this is the thing that we need to become a good team. Like when you're young, of course, but when you really look into like how do you build a core, a stability, you need to look at other type of players.
Yeah, and also the most important thing is that we have 5 players that likes each other, that respect each other's weaknesses first of all.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, having 5 Swedes instead of 5 different nationalities, cultures, it's easier with 5 Swedes because the culture is the same, obviously. And I know for a fact that if we had a Russian player, that coming on time is not super important for Russians. I might be wrong, but that's what I heard. But for me as a Dane and for Scandinavian, coming on time is just normal. So this thing about having the somewhat same values and culture is super important, and just be 5 good friends who just likes to play with each other is also super important. And yes, you can say that they're getting paid to. Yeah, it's basically their job, so they don't have to like each other. But I think that's the most important thing, that you have 5 players that enjoys to come on TeamSpeak, hang out 1 hour before, 1 hour after, play some Facets together, esports or whatever. Is also super important. It's a hard thing to manage to gather all these pieces, but we try at least.
Yeah. So like you've been working in Norway, of course you're from Denmark, and like somehow been involved with the Danish scene as well. But what differences do you see between like Danish players and Swedish players? Is there any?
I've never coached a Danish team actually.
You haven't? Oh.
No. I started coaching 3.5 years ago with Nordavind, the full Norwegian lineup. And I was away from the scene for 5-6 years or something like that. So I can't really answer that question with Danes. It's just the game has moved so fast compared to when I played myself. It's going way faster. Communication is different. The game style is different. But I think if we compare the Swedish to the Norwegian, or the lineup I have now compared to the Norwegian one, there is not really that big of a difference. I think the skill set on the Swedish players is just simply higher, to be honest. We play the somewhat same style, I would say. but the individual skill is just so much higher on this lineup at least.
Yeah, we're happy that you're sticking with Swedish players now from for the future. We would really enjoy that, because I heard so much from the players as well. Like they really like to work with you. And how do you work as a team? How do you act like prior games? Who takes the initiative of researching? Like if you're talking about the players, of course you are doing a heck of a job behind the scenes. But how does the 0-0 Prospects work?
Yeah, how do we work? I can take. Do you want to hear a normal day, kinda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a normal day would start at 10 o'clock, and we have 2 hours of tactical walkthrough / demo watching, whatever is kinda needed, because we strongly believe in that watching demos of somewhat previous games, so we can be up to date with the meta, is a good thing for us. And on this team, everybody is responsible of coming with something new every day, basically. Yesterday, Alex was talking about overpass, for an example, and before he talked about that, Alex and I met up 3 or 4 hours before, and we prepared this session. And then we have from 12 to 2 o'clock, we have 2 games of practice, which I record and put on our private YouTube channel, so we can hear voice comms and whatever I spectate. Yeah. And the players can write me on friends, on friends. If there is rounds we need to talk about after the practice day is done. And then at 3 o'clock we have 1 hour. No, from 2 to 3 we have 1 hour break where they can eat or take a walk or whatever they want. And then we have 2 more practice games after that. And then we're gonna finish the day off with going through the rounds they have written to me or rounds I have written down myself. We somewhat create protocols around what things we talked about or adjusted some tactics or whatever. So a normal day would go from 10 to 17:30-ish.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's basically it from the team, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really interesting to hear. Like from some people's perspective, they would like only see like, oh, there's a coach and there's the game leader. Like they're doing all the work. Of course, now you're talking about you and Alex like meeting up a couple of hours before, and I know how dedicated he is to the game. But still, like people need to take their responsibility and take something to the table. Like that's still something that you should value.
I just think it's important to show that you're really into this thing, yeah. And I don't need 1 hour from one player to talk for 1 hour straight. I just need him to go through 1 or 2 things, just for him to show me that he cares about the team, and for the rest of the players to know that this guy actually cares to win or get better at his position or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's important to me at least.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would like to talk like a bit more about your coaching style. Like, how do you see yourself as a coach? What do you typically come up with? What do you bring like onto the table as a like specific coach or whatever you would say?
I think that me as a coach is I really like the group to first of all feel appreciated. Like I wanna make them what's it called? I wanna treat them the way that I wanted to be treated, first of all. So I think I compared myself to Jürgen Klopp at one point.
Ah, nice.
Hugging the players, like being super nice to them in that way, and have a somewhat close relationship with them. And Super is more of a tactical nerd, so he's taking so much care of the tactical side of it, and I am more the guy that has the full overview. So yes, I also come with tactical things. I'm looking way more into the default side of the default round side of the perspective of that, and then the players has the responsibility to have what's it called, focus on their own positions, but also let's take Franson as example. On overpass, he's the B lurk, so he has the responsibility to have things towards B done. So B executes or small gimmick things towards short on B or whatever it is. But I also have a lot with getting the invites into the tournaments, and I would say I do a little bit of all things. I'm not perfect at everything, but I'm good at it, I would say. So yeah, I have the finger on the pulse on everything, I would say.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting for me. Like, for example, like you and Sippy, you are totally different as coaches, but there are so many different coaches in like the esports scene, and comparing yourself with Jürgen Klopp sounds good because I'm a Liverpool fan. So, so yeah, I really like that. But yeah, like really being like close with the players and like appreciating hard work is what I hear from you, and that's really fun to hear. Have you had a competitive background before you started coaching?
CS wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 7-8 years ago, I kind of ended my Counter-Strike career by playing in Fnatic as my highlight moment, I would say. Yeah. Which was in the beginning of CSGO, together with Carrigan, Trace, Supnix, Freeze, Muddy as well, actually. So yeah, that was the highlight of my career, I would say. Yeah. And other than that, I played Source as well. Was mentioned as a top 3 player in Denmark back then. So yeah, I've been playing at the top, but I would say that the game has changed so much the last 3-4 years. So it's a total different game, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning, even though I'm 34 years old. So yeah. Yeah,
that's cool. And like playing with those players like Carrigan, who also played like 1.6 and Freeze as well, and Trace, like there's a lot of players that Modi as well played a lot of 1.6. I actually play with him as well, and like looking at those type of players, like it was fun to see a lot of players like still hang through like to the next generation, and Carrigan is still up there like competing with the best. He actually plays in FaZe, the best team in the world. And how is that for you? Like seeing like, for example, Carrigan like just going on, because I believe he was more of a like enter frag at the beginning. Now he's not really an enter frag anymore, but he's changed so much.
Yeah, I was his in-game lead at once.
Yeah.
But yes, it's super funny because back then we were sleeping at what's it called, gymnasium floors, or the Counter-Strike world has just moved so much from back then. And as my wife said, I should have stayed in the business, but a kid came in the way, kinda. But yeah, with that said, it's funny to see a guy like Carrigan that I've been playing on the team with, playing for the best team in the world. Same goes with Supnix, with Astralis back then when they were on the top. So I'm a bit jealous, obviously, and but I think hard work pays off. Carrigan was a hardworking player as well back then, and see where he is now. Hats off to that guy.
Yeah, and like still being involved with it, and hopefully you will have a long career as a coach, like working with like one generation now, and like these players are the new types of, you know, Carrigan, Sipniks, Forrest, Get Right, and so on.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see like you're adapting into that type of coaching role, and seeing like coaches like you and Robban, for example, Robban in Face, of course, like are building for the new generation as well. Like you're seeing the Swedish scene as something that are probably blooming now, and you see a lot of players coming up. Let's see if in the 5 years, which Nordic country would you bet on like being the best in 5 years?
I would actually bet on Denmark still, because they're so integrated with the school system in Denmark, offering Counter-Strike to be. I don't know, but I think Denmark was the first movers on that one, and it's huge in Denmark having Counter-Strike on the schedule for schools. It's ongoing on, I don't even know what's it called, Efterskole.
Yeah.
And they're just building and building and building. And you also see a team like Masonic, which has an average age of, I don't know, 19 or something like that, and they're just smashing it. So I still think the talent pool in Denmark is a bit higher than in Sweden at the moment. But I also know Super, for an example, is super hardworking when it comes to Counter-Strike in schools, and with his determination and people around him, I also see Sweden going and taking huge steps in becoming the leaders in terms of that. But it's a hard question. It might be a 50-50 call from Denmark and Sweden, because I don't see it in Norway as much as I see it in Denmark and Sweden.
Yeah, let's hope that you're wrong with that one. But I like looking at like the structure in Denmark. Of course, they have the government behind them. They're getting funds for actually playing that the Swedes don't have. Like that's why we don't get like more top tier scenes or like wages for the players.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to just only live on sponsorships at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. 5 years is a long time, so. Yeah, maybe, but probably like Denmark and Sweden is still gonna be like the leading nations in Nordics. Would be fun to see Norway and Finland like also taking a step. Like they've been up there a few times. Still have players like Rain, of course. But what do you think that they are missing that Sweden and Denmark doesn't have? Does have?
Norway.
Yeah, Norway and Finland.
I don't know exactly, because I'm not. I haven't really researched it fully, to be honest. But from being in Nordavind / Nation for a while now and having to do with the Norwegian scene, simply just lack of talent. I was searching players for the Norwegian side of this team. But I wouldn't be able to fill out a 5-man core that would be competitive to play WePlay League. The age limit is, I think it's 20. Yeah, it is 21, and the good players are the talented ones, if you can say it like that. They're 22, 23, 24 years old, and then the gap is so huge. I can't see any player in Norway or Finland, I don't even know, but that is 16 or 17 years old with that much of a talent, to be honest. And I see that in Sweden. I see that in Denmark. So it's really lack of talent at the moment, and I don't know why it is that that there isn't as much talent in Norway and Finland. I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah. So looking at the Elitserien table right now, like you're up there with eyeballers, but who do you see being competitive this season? Like if you would pick a number of teams like that you see as your biggest threat this season?
Yeah, obviously we have eyeballers up there, obviously, but Kappa has also been doing pretty well. I'm not even sure if they're playing or practicing, but they have a good lineup at least. I think they've lost one game, and that was in overtime. Lemon Dogs also have a pretty decent lineup. Marshkalk is undefeated. Yeah, and of course, Lille Mix. So those, what was it, 4 or 5 teams, I think is up for the task to become one of the top 4 teams going to LAN, if I'm not mistaken, at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think and I hope that eyeballers and us will end first and second, and then it's just I would say almost 50-50 who does it. It's only B1s being played, so there can come some upsets here and there, but I definitely see those 5 teams being the ones that's battling it out.
Exciting.
Yeah, Young Ninjas, I forgot, obviously. Young Ninjas is definitely a top 3 team together with us and eyeballers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, how it will end up. I think you're right with the teams like the talking about the interesting with Masalk so far going undefeated, for example, and Lille Mix that has a, it's players that have been in Lille Mix before, and Yakinho, of course, who comes with a lot of impact. So it will be fun to follow.
On paper, they have a good lineup, so if they want to make it work, they can definitely do it. So, yeah.
Okay, Rytter. I'm really thankful for you coming here on such a short notice. It's been really fun to talk with you. Do you have any last words to the audience about Serious Prospects or yourself?
No, first of all, I just want to say sorry about the camera. But second of all, I think this Swedish Elitserien, first of all, is so nice to have for this scene, first of all, and the production is really, really fucking sick to see. So hats off to you guys at least, and I'm really looking forward to play this thing together with the boys, obviously, and just keep grinding Sweden. I hope to see Sweden back on the top, because they started there and they can definitely do it again with the right mindset. So yeah, thanks for having me, and that's basically it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, David, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future, of course.
Thank you. See you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Ja, det var intervju med Rytter då från Serious Prospects. Väldigt intressant att höra honom prata. Jag ska försöka summera det, för jag kanske kommit in här på sista delen av intervjun egentligen. Försnack är alltid en blandning i profilering. Man vill veta kanske lite mer om spelarna, bakgrunderna, och här får vi höra från en coach som jobbar väldigt tätt med, framförallt nu då Serious Prospect, men jobbat mycket med norska spelare förut, finska spelare också. Och tävlat på internationell nivå med bland annat Carrigan förr i tiden, vilket är häftigt och svårt kanske att förstå för de här coacherna, de här ledarna som är kvar i scenen, som varit med så länge och tävlat på så hög nivå. Det måste man också lyfta fram, för att det kanske är en deras historia för 7-8 år sedan, men det är också någonting som man måste prata om i nutid också, att här kommer någon med mycket impact, extremt mycket kunskap för att förmedla det till sin grupp som är då Serious Prospects och kanske går för vinst i Elitserien i år. Det återstår ju att se, men de sätter också kanske mycket press på sig själva att kunna göra det här. Pratar om att final ska det kunna bli. Eyeballers och kanske då Young Ninjas har väl också topp 3 där. Men sen finns det ju en rad lag som kommer kunna hota under året, vilket är superintressant. Så att till säsongen startat så är det väl kanske, man tittar just nu, kanske 8 lag som befinner sig där och ska ju ta sig vidare såklart. Men 8 lag som kan slåss om alltså slutspelsplatser och eventuellt finalplats. Det är ju väldigt häftigt och härligt att kunna just diskutera vilka tar i år. Eyeballers absolut favoriter, vann förra året och har nog det med sig också att de ska göra det här en gång till. Men det kanske inte är så enkelt som man alltid tror på förhand. Men Rytter, fina egenskaper, jobbar tätt med gruppen, vill ju känna liksom att han blir en i gruppen också. Jag gillar ju personligen den typen av ledarskap. Om man jobbar med träning så tycker jag alltid att det är väldigt härligt att kunna bli liksom en i gruppen, oavsett om man är av den äldre skolan, så är det på ett sätt en annan typ av ledarskap. Han jämför med Jürgen Klopp, och det är för att han bygger in sig själv i gruppen som en pjäs, en som tar väldigt mycket personligt ansvar men också ger ansvar till spelarna. Det tycker jag är viktigt när man jobbar med ungdomar också. Pratar man 20-åringar så kan man inte bara dalta saker, och det får inte bli liksom en lekskola heller, inte om du betalar spelare som är där för att göra ett jobb. Då gäller det bara liksom exekuta varje dag vad som ska göras, och att han här kommer in med tanken att alla måste komma med någonting till bordet varje dag. Oavsett om det är yngst i laget som Bob XD eller om du kanske är mest erfarna spelare som Alex, så behöver alla fylla sin funktion och visa att man bryr sig om lagets resultat, om lagets dagliga resa. Så en jättebra intervju tycker jag verkligen. Kul att ta den på engelska, lite synd med kameran då, men det är sånt man får leva med ibland. Tekniken slutar aldrig chocka, men jag är glad att vi tog den här intervjun. Jag tycker det är roligt att få lite ett internationellt perspektiv också, se lite vad Danmark gör såklart, vad Sverige är förhoppningsvis på väg att göra, och det är väldigt viktigt att vi får den här känslan i Sverige att en saker görs ändå rätt. Vi har en stor talangpool, och det är ni där ute som är också i nästa generation som ska bära Sverige framåt. Men då måste man också förstå vilket system man måste ha redan från ung ålder, att man måste identifiera sig och sina lagmedlemmar i rätt typer av roller. Kanske att entry fraggers kanske inte är den viktigaste spelaren på laget, utan att många lag sätter upp ut efter en core av vissa typer av spelstilar. Kanske IGL först. I det här fallet var det ju viktigaste kanske spelarna som var ankare. I det här fallet skulle man prata om Prospects så skulle det vara Bob XD. Så det är lite intressant hur man bygger och tänker liksom från grundpelarna. Många coacher som gillar att tänka på det sättet också. Tack för idag. Vi ses ikväll i studion 19.00. Går vi live. Det kommer bli magiskt så som vanligt med svenska Elitserien. Jag tackar för er som har lyssnat in, och om ni inte var med från början får ni lyssna in på avsnittet här senare ikväll. Ha det bäst nu. Ciao!